Welcome to The Explainer. So, you've probably heard of Ethereum, right? A lot of people just think of it as Bitcoin's little brother, but honestly, that comparison doesn't even begin to cover it. Today, we're going to dig into how Ethereum was designed to be something so much bigger. So let's just start with a really big question. Forget about just creating digital money for a second. What if you could take that same core technology and use it to build an entirely new version of the internet, a global, decentralized one that no single person or company actually owns? That right there is the grand ambition of Ethereum.
To really wrap your head around Ethereum, you've got to think way bigger than currency. Picture this: a single computer for the entire world. It's not owned by Google, not by any government. Nobody. It's just on, all the time. A platform that anyone, anywhere, can use to build and run applications that can't be shut down. That was the vision from day one.
And this is really the key difference. See, Bitcoin was revolutionary. It proved that we could have decentralized money. But the folks behind Ethereum looked at that and had this huge what-if moment. They asked, okay, that's great, but what if we could decentralize? Well, everything else. By applying that same security to actual code, they created a platform not just for paying, but for building.
And the origin story? It's pretty wild. It all started back in 2013 with a 19-year-old programmer named Vitalik Buterin. Now, he was deep in the Bitcoin community, but he kept bumping up against its limitations. He thought, man, this blockchain thing, it could do so much more than just be digital cash. So he wrote the blueprint, the whole white paper, for this brand new, super flexible platform, and by 2015, Ethereum went live.
Okay, so how does this world's computer actually, work? Well, the secret sauce, the real magic here, is a concept called smart contracts. This is the absolute core innovation that makes the whole thing programmable. The easiest way to think about a smart contract is like a digital vending machine. It's a piece of code that lives on the blockchain, and it follows super simple if-then logic. But here's the kicker. Because it's on the blockchain, it's transparent, it's irreversible, and, this is the key, it executes all by itself. No need for a bank or a lawyer or any other middleman. Let's make this super concrete with an example like paying rent. A smart contract could be coded to say, if it's the first of the month, then transfer the rent from the tenant's wallet to the landlord's. The contract holds the funds securely in escrow, and then, boom, on the first of the month, it executes. Perfectly. On time, every single time. No delays, no intermediaries, no hassle. But, it wasn't all smooth sailing. Not by a long shot. This revolutionary idea pretty quickly crashed headfirst into reality, and Ethereum's early days were filled with some serious growing pains. I mean, challenges that nearly broke the entire project. So, get this. Just 1 year after launching, a crisis hit. There was this massively popular project called the DAO, which was kind of like a decentralized venture capital fund, and it got hacked. An attacker found a bug in its smart contract, and it created this huge make-or-break moment for all of Ethereum. The hacker siphoned out around $50 million worth of Ether. This sparked this giant philosophical debate. Should they break the blockchain's #1 rule, that all transactions are permanent, to get the money back? The community was totally torn. Ultimately, the majority voted to reverse the hack, which created the Ethereum blockchain we use today. But a smaller group disagreed, preserving the original unaltered chain, which now exists as Ethereum Classic. The hack revealed a security problem, but a second, maybe even bigger issue was bubbling up. Ethereum was becoming a victim of its own success. As more people used it, the network got incredibly congested. It could only process around 15 transactions per second, which is nothing compared to Visa's thousands. This created a digital traffic jam, leading to long waits and sky-high transaction costs, the infamous gas fees that made the network just too expensive for a lot of people to use. So, facing an identity crisis and a network that just couldn't scale, the Ethereum community did something pretty much unprecedented. They began one of the most ambitious technical upgrades in software history, a multi-year plan to basically rebuild the engine of the car while it was still speeding down the highway. And the centerpiece of this whole upgrade was a massive shift away from what's called proof of work. That's the old energy-guzzling system that Bitcoin uses. Ethereum moved to a much more efficient model called proof of stake. Instead of burning tons of energy, people called validators lock up their own crypto as collateral. If they play by the rules, they get rewarded. If they try to cheat the system, well, they lose their money.
This all led up to this huge event in 2022 known as the merge, and the result was just monumental. Literally overnight, Ethereum's energy consumption was slashed by an estimated 99%. 99%! In one move, they basically silenced one of the biggest criticisms of blockchain technology.
And the evolution is still going. The 2024 Denkun upgrade brought in a feature with a wild name, Proto-Denk sharding, which is basically just a new, more efficient way to bundle up data to lower fees for everyone. The long-term goal here is a network that's secure, green, and incredibly fast, with the aim of hitting speeds of up to 100,000 transactions per second. So with all these massive upgrades in place, what are people actually building on this global computer? What does this new digital world that's powered by Ethereum actually look like today? Well, the result is this thriving digital ecosystem. You've got decentralized finance, or DeFi, which is building out banking services without the actual banks. We've got NFTs, giving us verifiable ownership of digital art and collectibles. And we're seeing the rise of DAOs, these leaderless organizations run entirely by code, not to mention huge gaming worlds and metaverses with their own real functioning economies. And this brings us right back to that core idea. When you hear that phrase, the world's programmable blockchain, this is what it means. It's not a single product. It's a foundational layer, a base for thousands of different ideas to be built on. It's the potential backbone for what a lot of people are calling Web3, a new, decentralized, user-owned era of the internet. So the takeaway here is pretty clear. Ethereum has evolved from a really bold idea into this sprawling, massive digital ecosystem. And as the technology gets faster and cheaper and more powerful, it's building the infrastructure for a whole new kind of digital economy. Which just leaves us with one final question. This world is building right now. Are we ready for it? Thanks for watching The Explainer.